Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is the Big Girl Diary. Never, never time that. Oh man, I like that instrumental. I really do, but I got a good one for you today. A good one for you today. And I do apologize because I'm a little disorganized. Even though I was here working on this, the last minute things, there has been a development in the Marilyn Manson case. Uh, and I didn't even bring that up. It's some good news. Some good news. Hey, Pixie. I'm sorry, Lexi Pixie. I do apologize. The Umbrella Archive. How you doing, Jessica? How you doing? How you doing? And how you doing? Some more. I do appreciate y'all. Do forgive me. I want to make sure I started on time and managed to forget to bring some stuff up so I can prove to you. And here I'm like, oh, okay. So, so please do forgive me. Um, let me see, Marilyn Manson. I gotta say, this Ashley Smithline. It, you can't make this stuff up. You really, really can't. Where's the other one? Oh man. Okay. This is over here giving me a little problems as I'm trying to bring it up, which it should have been. Oh, I'm glad you're excited for the update. I really am because I'm excited to tell you all. It's like this stuff is starting to come out, and I'm waiting for the. I gotta do another Google Slide thing again. Okay, here it is. Sorry about that. Um, there has been developments that are still coming. Now, what I did for this one for Marilyn Manson, I broke it up into the most important pieces that I underlined so that you can see what's going on because they're getting ready to go to trial. That's going to happen soon, sometime in 2023. That's going to happen soon. But what is going on is their antics. Evan Rachel Wood and Illma Gore, their antics are falling at the wayside, just as the people or the ladies who were talking about he did this, he did that. Majority of them have been deposed. Ashley Walters has been deposed. That case just has been simply means drop. It's done. It's done. Um, Let me see. Esme, hers was deposed. You have a lot of deposing going on. Deposing. But Marilyn Manson, he's coming through this. I mean, he's really, really going through the fire based on one woman. And I tell people it only takes one to start a revolution. It does. It does. People think, oh, it has to be a massive amount. No, it just takes one. It's just like it only takes one person to start a lie. Just one. And then if you scream it loud enough, long enough, people will believe you. And the more outrageous it is, the more people will believe it. Let me get a little bit of sip of my cafe au lait or my hazelnut. Lexi, you're right. You can't wait because there are too many inconsistencies. There are, yeah. He has so much proof. How do you go to the judge? Just how do you? I should have put that in there. How do you go to the judge and say, hey, judge, um, here is my documentary, and here is my proof, and don't believe him, believe me, because I'm Evan Rachel Wood. Believe me, that's it. How you doing, jibs and nibs? Jabs. I'm sorry, jibs and jabs. Let me drink another cup of coffee so I can get on the speed. Forgive me. So what I'm gonna do is go through um, the info and then get to Ashley Smithline. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. You can't. And one of my subscribers, I don't have permission to divulge this information, but I managed to get pictures of where Ashley Smithline said she was held for H trafficking and all this other stuff she said that happened. So I do have that info, and we're gonna get to it. So let's get to the first part. All righty. All right. So let me make this big. So I'm gonna make this big so I can see it because I have glasses, but I need new ones. So I'm gonna make this big. So if you do type something, forgive me. Everything's big and I can't see it. And when I close it back up down so I can see it, then I'm gonna stop jibber jabbing. Let me just get to it because you don't want to hear me jibber jabber about no nonsense. All right, here. Every time on our live stream, every time. But we're gonna get through it. Okay, Illma. All right, first, here it is. The notice of the ruling of joint stipulation in the order to continuance on the 13th. So, what happened a couple of days ago, this was information that happened a couple of days ago, only to move forward. So, I just want to make sure that you see that. Here, it says all parties and their attorneys of record, please take notice that August 31st, the court entered a joint stipulation and ordered a continuance of the 13th. So it's going to happen on the 31st. So whatever they had to straighten out, it's going to occur on the 31st. So I want to make sure that everybody understands that. There's always something going on when it comes to court. Now, here, okay, whereas April 28th, defendant Wood and Gore, respectively, filed an anti-SLAPP seeking to strike portions of the plaintiff's complaint. Now, remember in the previous live stream, we went over what the anti-SLAPP is. And the anti-SLAPP is simply a strategic litigation, and I forgot the other three letters, basically saying that they're trying to strike, meaning to take away, part of Marilyn Manson's complaint, where he alleges they're lying here, they're lying, not alleges, but saying they're lying here, they're lying there, they're lying there. And they're trying to say, well, let me get rid of that, let me get rid of that, let me get rid of that. That's all that means. And I wish people would just wait until I'm finished live streaming and then continue acting like fools. Okay, that was very arrogant of me, forgive me. Okay, whereas the case management conference, and this is what they do whenever they go into court. The court set Wood's anti-SLAPP motion for the hearing of the 18th, hearing on the 18th, and the Gore's anti-SLAPP, the hearing on September 13th. Now, those already happened. However, the conference on the 13th, to correspond with the hearing on the anti-SLAPP motion. Now, all of this has happened, but there were little things, if you go back to the other things, the other videos that I put out saying what occurred. Was it granted? Was it pushed back? Because Marilyn Manson did win a lot of his, he was granted or shown as, what is it called? Good cause. Good cause simply means that Marilyn Manson met all the requirements And the judge said, okay, all the requirements are met, good cause, so it can proceed. So he had many good causes, which is great. All right. The plaintiff's motion, meaning Marilyn Manson's motion for limited discovery for the hearing on August 18th, and continued Wood's anti-SLAPP motion on September 13th. Okay. Well, okay. You can look at the thing. So even though they're dragging it out, but he is making a lot of gain. So this right here is sort of going back and forth a little bit, back from July until now, and that's how many court schedulings they have just to get through what these ladies are doing. Okay, the court set the plaintiff's motion for the limited discovery pursuant for the hearing of the 18th, and continue Wood's anti-SLAPP motion September 13th, which happened a couple of days ago. And the court continued a hearing of the plaintiff's discovery motion for September 27th. So there was some stuff that went on. However, they need to continue it for the 27th because they put a lot out there. They put a lot of foolishness out there that he has to bat down. It's outrageous. But he's getting through it, and these ladies are going to pay dearly for just defaming someone like that, all because I keep on saying, and I believe I'm not in a relationship, but it seems like that. If Marilyn Manson would say, hey, Evan, okay, I'm done with Lindsay. And I said this before, I'm done with Lindsay. Come on, I'll take you back and let's go ahead and get married and live happily ever after. She would drop everything, say, hey, I lied, I got my man back. Just my 2 cents. I very well could be wrong. The anti-SLAPP hearing was rescheduled. All of it is rescheduled. Rescheduled them at the hearing on the plaintiff's discovery motion, but did not continue the September 27th. I'm sorry, 13th. And all this right here is case management, and you got a whole lot of lingo. So here, just that it's going to be pushed to September 27th. Even though a lot of this stuff was redundant and blah, 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 I wanted you to see it so that, so that you can tell anyone, hey, this is what's going on. And you can point to it and say, it's happening on this date. This is what happened on that date. Now, it can be a little pain and redundant, and I know it is maybe a little boring, but, it's good to know. It's good to have this info. Okay, what I do. All right. Now, that's his part. Marilyn Manson is making a lot of strides. And, oh, wait a minute. Let me go back because some of you were saying some things. Okay, Jessica says she absolutely wouldn't. You don't think so? Oh, I'm sorry, absolutely would. Yeah, she would. Marilyn Manson said, hey, Evan, I was wrong. I shouldn't have married Lindsay. I should have married you. She would be, she'll jump through fire, wood, burning buildings, a tornado, hurt. I'm so silly. Let me see. Lexi Pixie says he got married and she attacked. Yes, she did. She did attack him as soon as, and it was like right before the marriage occurred. Then Evan went to the police and filed a police report saying that his soon-to-be wife was harassing her with some pictures, something crazy. Okay, Jessica says, I agree, she absolutely would. This is revenge for Evan. Yeah, it's most definitely revenge, but this is the wild part. She's throwing all this craziness out, all this wildness out, and then if they ever did break up, he's never going to be with her. Look at all the stuff that she did. There are some things that you cannot come back from, and what Evan has done, she could never come back from. He may forgive her, but he would keep her at a million foot, a stick 1,000,000 feet long, just to keep her at a distance. Let me see. Jessica says, "Oh, wait a minute. I just had you got married." Okay, and Jessica says, like flies. Okay, like flies on poop. You got that right. And Lexi's laughing. And it's sad, but it is laughable. Everything which she's doing, and anyone who pays attention can see this is revenge. And it's beyond petty. It's scary petty. Um, Jessica says, pics of her with, yep, the Hitler the costume, and yeah, this is wild. This is completely wild. Now, Ashley Smithline. I do, and thank you very much. Oh man, all this noise. I really thank you very much for the information that I have received, and I pieced it together so that it will go flow in chronological order. Now, here, Ashley Smithline, her lies are being exposed. I mean, it's just outrageous how she went along with what these ladies are saying. He did this, he did that. She just follow along with it. And let me shut my mouth and show you. Okay, I took this from oh man, I can't see this. Let me make it a little bigger so I can see this. Okay, this right here came from the article, the People's Magazine, and she told, I'm sorry, in this case, The View. Other parts of it is from People's Magazine. And let me, okay. And she told The View that this alleged incident was the first abuse from Manson she experienced, and it just got worse. And now, keep in mind, when she came as an employee. Please keep that in mind and just simply follow what she's saying. She was an employee. Okay. Here, I was dehumanized, I was degraded, I was treated like an animal, she said, from November 2010 through January 2013. Smithline's complaint alleges she endured S abuse, physical and psychological abuse from Manson, including being whipped, burned, cut, and branded by Manson. And I got info to where it shows it. Manson allegedly kept her in an apartment. I got info on that, and you're going to see it. And when you see it, you're going to say, okay, let me stop yapping. His apartment was totally dark. The temperatures were cold, and she described it. Described the environment in her complaint as black refrigerator. Okay, due to the lack of light in the apartment, Manson would allegedly lie about the time of day in efforts to force Smithline to work all hours. Now, what was she doing? Now, she's an actress, a model. So was she just modeling all that time? I mean, he allegedly kept her awake and giving her the C, her C, and blaring loud music. All right. I want to just hurry and jump to it. Oh my goodness, I do. And saying that also he didn't provide her with enough food to eat, according to the complaint. Here is the alleged apartment. Look at this. Or where, if you look, you see the sunlight, and even with the shades, there's sunlight. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. This is the alleged apartment that Ashley Smithline complained she was held in when she was trafficked. She also stated there were no windows. It was completely dark. Now I see one, two, three, four windows. Okay, but and this is from the other side. You have the four windows there. Then you have one, and I think there's two behind that behind the palm tree. Now this is on the side. You can't make this stuff up. Oh, and here, where she was branded, her alleged scars from Manson. She said that she was branded, she was whipped, all these things for a 3-year. Let me. For a 3-year period. He did all these things to her for a 3-year period and still managed to work. This is some foolishness. I'm sorry. Let me do it the other way. All right. Now here, this is where she said that she was a brand, that he branded her and marked his name on her. Now, oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Okay, wait, let me go back. Oh, you all said a lot. I'm so sorry. Okay, Rachel was dog. If it's not important, could you just hang it up? Okay, here. You see where all these marks are? Lines that I have going down to the different things. And then when you look on the other side, the different scars, and when you look on the other side, they try to make an M and M. This is kind of hard to take in. It's too hard to take in because I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm very sympathetic, you know? I'm sympathetic and I wouldn't want anyone to have issues like this. But however, it doesn't cut to me. It looks like she did something or somebody did something for her. I don't know. I truly don't know. But now this is where she admits that she didn't want to go along with all this stuff. I'm so sorry. um this is where she admits she didn't want to go along with the narrative. And I want to thank, oh my goodness, I think it was you, Jessica, that you gave me this stuff. Is it Jessica or Ezra? I don't quite remember. I have to go back. But I want to thank you. So here she admits, I don't know if you could see this or not. I hope you can. I tried to make it as big as I could. But she admits she didn't want to go along with it. Oh my goodness. Oh, she didn't want to go along. I am so sorry. Oh man. Okay, what I'm gonna have to do. Can anyone see the Instagram pics? Are you is it legible to where you can see it? Please let me know. Okay, the super blurry. Okay, I am so sorry. All right. What I'm gonna have to do is I'll come back to this on my next live stream because it only gets a little blurrier. But what she does say is she didn't want to do it. Basically lie on Marilyn, and I'm paraphrasing. And I'll come back on the next live stream and make sure that they're clear, and I'll have individual ones to where you can see it and they won't be blurry. So I do apologize for this right here. All right. So, all right. So, based on all of this, what are your thoughts? And if anybody would like to, I don't even have my thing on. If you want to call in so that you can get say your piece about what I presented. If you want to say whether you believe it or not, it doesn't really matter if you believe it or not. I'm just interested in your points of view. So if you want to call in, please call in. If you want to come up and say your piece on it, uh, I would most definitely like to hear from you either way. And if you do call in, and if somebody else wants to come up, please put something in the chat so I would know. Or if not, I'll keep on with the conversation. And I still apologize to the person that called up and I did. Because if you call up, it's just a regular cell phone. I don't hear the clicks. So what do you say on this? Hmm, about, do you think Ashley Smithline, she would allegedly said that she was making this up. She went along with the narrative. And what do you think about the updates on the courts? Okay, you can call in about 20 or 30 minutes. Anyone else, if you want to come up or... Okay, I want you all to call, not who's calling. Okay. Hey, BGD, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
So what do you think?
About Ashley Morgan Smithline, she's an interesting one,
Uh-huh.
as you said, with her allegations, of not being fed.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if what kind of, most jobs do not feed you. They don't feed you, but she was saying that he was like starving her, he wasn't feeding her, and that area has a bunch of restaurants, so I don't understand. Like, did he mean physically feed her, like get a spoon and feed her? But she also has, she's a bulimic, I think, or anorexic.
Oh, that I don't know. I don't know if she had a bulimic or some kind of eating disorder. I don't know.
She did. Admitted it in an article where that saying that she had to be hospitalized for that.
Wow.
So I guess eating is not at the. And then what I found strange is that she's a model for a company, right? She was working in Asia back then, and then she goes and then does a modeling with him. That's how she got there, but I don't know.
Yeah, actually I read that. I was taking notes. I read that in the People's Magazine. And this happened back in 2010. He flew her from LA to Bangkok, Thailand to do a shoot over there. So, and that's when she said a lot of these issues start happening. And I'm just like, man, this is outrageous.
She only together with him for a week. That's what she said. And then the scarring that you pointed out, to me they look like freckles, because if you see other pictures of her, she's got freckles. She's a
Yeah.
I mean, but she still has a lot of freckles.
Yeah, I try to make it as big as possible without it being blurry so that you can see. And it just looks like little, freckles, yes. It looked like where she was in the sun and her skin was peeling some and it looked like little scratches, but nothing to where there would be an M and M. No, I didn't see that.
And
And
just
even when they
because
try to
their claims are so just over the top, because okay, if you look at what branding is, I mean, look at if you see what a branding scar looks like,
mm-hmm.
that's something that you, and I think that People Magazine is dishonest, because
Yep.
if you see branding, you would actually see a brand. Okay, did he do it with a knife? I don't tell. I will not believe that ever. That she was so scared that she decided not to go when somebody takes a knife, cuts into her skin, and decide, oh, I'm not going to go to the hospital. I was so scared. I'm not going to call police. You know she's going to call police. If you're bleeding, your leg is bleeding. It's some guy cut into it.
Yeah, and one thing about branding, we have branding all the time. Just look at your clothing. Like Levi's, you take a brand and you on the the material part, cows are branded with something hot. Believe me, it would be distinguishable. It's like how the Nexium with Allison Mack was in that S cult, and they were branding women. You could really see because they branded you with her initials and his initials. That's some crazy stuff. But what she's
Yes.
this is wild.
Yeah, exactly. So you would see, if you look at branding scars that you're left, these are something that is prominent,
Mm-hmm.
not something that you have to search for and, to try to connect the dots. And that's why I think that People Magazine is very dishonest, because she said she was branded. Why didn't they show a close-up picture of it? But everything is so fuzzy, you can't even see anything.
Yeah, you're right. But also keep in mind, they are trying to keep an audience because people have stopped listening to not only the news, they have stopped listening or reading these articles because people are like, I'm tired of the lies.
Exactly, and they don't see the same thing with the Sun, with Johnny Depp, how it was one side, but they don't put the other side. Like, they don't even bother to question.
Yeah, I don't know when it began being one-sided, because when journalists or even magazines or whatever platform you go on, you can speak your piece. However, they allow the opposing side to come on and speak their piece, and then you can make up your own mind. They don't do that anymore. Now it's like a one side only, and if you don't take that side, then everybody, or not everybody, but you're going to have people jumping on you, screaming you down, shouting you down. It's wild. It's really wild the way things are.
Yeah, so with the Ashley Morgan Smithline, yeah, you could see where all her statements are over the top ridiculous. And then for them to say that they didn't call police for, being branded, I think she even said that he cut into her ribs with a knife. Of course, and they have to say that swastika knife. That's very important for them to keep saying. That's something that I've noticed, that all of them say very general statements. That, what does that mean? What do you mean? What else did he do to you? When did this occur? And the fact that they don't call police, they don't bother to go to the hospital.
Yeah, and to me, it seems like a mindset that Evan Rachel Wood has. This is this is my truth, And really, and for them, the truth is very subjective, not objective, but subjective. This is my truth. I have it on my thing. Right here's my movie. And believe me, and don't look at anywhere else. It's wild. It is so wild.
Yeah, that you can't question them, and they're trying to deceive the public into believing, hey, just believe me. What I'm saying is true, no matter how ridiculous it is. If you question them, it starts in with you're a misogynist.
Yep. Oh, they got to stop throwing that around. And the wild part is that not only are they telling these outlandish lies, but with these outlandish lies, they are tearing down men, and then they scream misogyny and toxic masculinity. Well, I would like to see all these ladies that get on the front line, since everything about men is so toxic. I'm sorry, I went off the rails.
Oh no, yeah, I agree with you. Especially with these actresses, because Evan Rachel Wood, she's a disaster. She's absolutely a disaster. Everything is self-interest because there's pain. It pays to be a victim, which is something I did not know. She's getting paid over $300,000. That's what I saw on one of his website to go and speak about how she's a victim. So it's very profitable for her to identify herself as a victim, which is very sad because there are actual victims.
I'm not. Man, oh goodness. I don't. Man, there are so many things I want to say. I don't want to get my channel taken down.
Yeah.
Look, the truth is revolutionary. Oh my goodness.
Right now, the truth is non-existent.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Let me see. Jessica says, I have a brand and I'm into body modification, pretty decent. Okay, so she knows what that is about. And these girls really think everyone is stupid. Obviously, between Amber and Ashley and Evan, telling the tallest stories. You got that right.
Can Jessica call in and explain the branding situation, how that occurs?
Tattoos, but she said that she's going to call in about 20-30 minutes.
Okay.
So I can most definitely ask that, and then if I forget, then you can type it in to remind me.
Yeah, and about her, what else did Evan Smith, that Morgan Smithline say?
Oh,
Do you remember?
Just that that all these things happened to her. She was H trafficked. She was S abused. She was psychologically and physically abused, all as an employee. Now, she doesn't distinguish between, well, actually, she doesn't say that she was an employee. She just says, well, I went over and then we just got into a relationship. Who does that?
Oh yeah, she moved in within like a week. He was like, hey, I have this house. Can you move in? And then she just moves in.
No one does that. And plus, I don't know of any employer who would say, hey, why don't you come work for me and live with me? No. No.
SullyTR.com.
Oh, something else that I noticed with all these women, they do not take any responsibility also for what they do. Take Smithline. Apparently, she describes his place, and he has, that white powder all over his house. She says that, because he didn't feed her, she was using this white powder. Like he almost forced them to do it. They have no sense of responsibility for what they do. That's one thing. Who moves in with a stranger?
You got that right.
That's a sense of, take some responsibility for what you do. Like, hey, hello, do they not teach stranger danger anymore? And
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I mean, that is so true. You are batting 1,000. That is so true.
And when she first met him, and she's like, oh, he came with that girl, Ashley Walters, to her hotel because he set her up at the Roosevelt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, he seemed pretty nice, pretty good, because he did come there with Ashley Walters. And then I forgot what the name of, he has this alcohol that he drinks.
I'm not sure.
I forgot what it's his brand. And also with some white powder. And I thought, oh yeah, nothing says safety than the guy that comes in with alcohol and white powder to your door.
Man, you can't make this stuff up. Look, I have a wild imagination, but this is beyond my abilities. It's beyond my abilities. Oh, it's called
absinthe, something like that.
Yeah, absinthe. Yeah, not absinthe. Absintha. Absinthe.
Something like that.
Yeah, he drinks it. Okay. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you. Because we would have been around that circle saying it's a drink. We don't know what it is, but it's a drink. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, so that's just the part that I noticed with her and their exaggeration, like over the top exaggeration.
Oh, hold on for 1 second. Hold on for 1 second. I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat, Umbrella. Thank you so much. Oh, go ahead.
So just the things that I've seen so far, just from Smithline, I thought it was so over the top, so ridiculous that if I were a lawyer, which I'm not a lawyer, I would be kind of embarrassed to type that up, for her claim against Manson. So I could see why she is kind of backing up, because she has to be deposed, right? And if they start asking her about these questions, like, what do you mean he doesn't feed you? Or there was restaurant. She does say she was allowed to leave. So what was the problem, that she couldn't walk to the market? She couldn't walk to a restaurant around there? What exactly went on? She wasn't tied down or anything. Then she says there was a bunch of people there. I mean, yeah, I get it that some of them might be employed by Manson, but
thank you so much, Jessica.
You would see some girl being hit, attacked, or anything. How do you justify all these people watching and none of them doing anything?
Yeah. Now, thank you to the Umbrella Archive, because he says it's pronounced absinthe.
Absinthe.
Yeah, absinthe. Yeah. Thank you. Because I'm saying absinthe.
I'm absent.
Oh my goodness. Oh, this is too funny. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the super chats, the Umbrella Archives and Jessica. Thank you. That means so much to me. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough. But it's really something, it is to the point to where no matter how far and outlandish these lies are, you're going to find somebody to believe something so crazy. It's just too much. It's just too much. Now, what do you think about the case?
I think it's going to fall apart on them, because that girl room, what they call a bad girl room, that everything is soundproof. His apartment is a studio. It's not an apartment, but it was also a music studio. And the area around there has a lot of apartment buildings where they pay, maybe $5,000 a month.
Let me go back to what you keep on talking.
Not more, to stay in that area. So can you imagine having Marilyn Manson with his music blasting all over?
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's just a store. That's the front. That's the store it's a liquor store on the bottom, but the front street is Santa Monica Boulevard. It is a very busy street.
Okay.
The back streets are are apartment buildings and homes around there. And that's kind of like a trendy, expensive area.
Mm-hmm.
So now, can you imagine? I'm sure that Marilyn Manson doesn't keep the 9 to 5 hours, right? So he has people there. They're recording music. It's blasting all over. You're paying like, I don't know, $8,000 a month or $7,000 a month, and you're gonna have. I mean, I would go pound his door and tell him, turn it up. I'm gonna hurt you real bad. I need sleep. You know.
Mm-hmm. It's wild.
So you would see it's nothing like, oh, he had a specific room where he would lock these people in there. And then she even says that, I think she even said that he locked her in there so much that she urinated in there.
There are more articles I didn't have an opportunity to look at. I just was taking notes from here and there and then placing it on the slide so that you could see it. But
okay.
But I'm going to go back into it and do a little deeper dive, little by little.
These are some articles that she has out there that you don't even want to spend a lot of time on, because your head is going to want to explode. I'm like, I'm never going to get this time back after reading this nonsense, and the fact that they just print it and it just looks ridiculous. It really does. It's like, for the reader, they're trying to make us feel like dumb. Like, am I supposed to believe this? Is this true, or what? What exactly is going on here?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me read a couple of these chats. Umbrella Archive says, okay, we did that one. Jessica says, you're welcome. Thank you all so much. That means so much to me. Jessica also says, LOL. I think BTW. I'm not good at these acronyms. Umbrella's my husband. Okay, and thank you for being here, giving us your time.
I'm becoming a Jessica fan.
Oh yeah. Jessica is actually all of y'all are wonderful, and just the fact that you could be right now doing something else, but you're here with me, and time is something you never get back, and I'm just so appreciative that you are here with me and you're talking on the phone with me. And it's just beyond amazing. And I'm not going to get mushy, okay? I'm not going to get mushy. Let me stop it. I'm getting mushy. And then Jessica says, it's like Kim K saying that Ray J put, yep, while she was sleeping. You can't make this stuff up. You really can't. And
These are thoughtless statements that get people in trouble. I could see why he's upset, because that insinuates, that is R.
And it's a felony. That's a
criminal.
Yep. That right there is a felony. And then Ray J was going to sue her. He said, forget about suing her. I'm just going to put all this stuff out there. And they're on damage control. Oh my goodness. They're on such damage control. And then Lexi Pixie says, yeah, I just found out a lot of stuff about her. To be honest, to be honest, I'm learning this. And then Jessica comes back and says, it is like they got Epstein and Weinstein. All all of these ladies think that they can blame any man and be believed in just their word, and it turns into a witch hunt for men. Exactly right. Exactly right. And that's why I say you have to protect your fathers, you have to protect your brothers, you have to protect your male cousins, because women like this are out there. And that's why I was so hard on my brother's ex-girlfriend. Oh man, it ain't gonna happen. No. He was so mad at me, but you got to stop them in their tracks, because if not, then they'll run wild. And then Jessica comes back to say, sodomy. I'm going to say sodomy. 25 to life in California. Wow. Okay, go
that's
ahead.
the thing, though. You can't allege these allegations, even the ones made about Ray J, Manson, and all. These are criminal allegations. Like one of them, I forgot which one it was, said that he put his hands around her throat to the point that she fainted.
That's wild.
And it was also Ashley Smithline who said that Manson played in a child movie, and she was so shocked that she fainted by the movie that he played for her. I mean, tell me, I don't care who it is. If somebody plays that for you, I'll report you.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm gonna report you, because the fact that she's, I was so shocked I fainted, and never said anything.
And
afterwards.
And that right there is a huge problem. Like in a couple of previous videos ago, when Ashley Walters was saying how he was doing these things to teenage girls. And I'm like, okay, he did this, you knew about it, and you let it happen. You were complicit. How comes you're not in jail? You need to be not only beneath the jail, but underneath him, because you saw and you did nothing.
Oh, yeah, she was one that was supposed to be guarding the girls for them not to escape. That's a crime. That is a crime.
Yes, it is.
She assisted him in that crime. Doesn't matter if you were scared. And then to say, oh, well, it's my, I have he was paying me, I didn't want to lose my job. So her money means more to her than somebody that's being held prisoner.
You can't make this stuff up. You can't. You can't.
So those are the things that they're going to run in this mess, because they can't explain some of this nonsense, I think. They can't. Their explanations just do not make sense.
They cannot explain, not only explain it, but they cannot prove it. That's the thing. They're just taking anything out of the air and saying, oh yeah, it's this. I mean, people do it all the time. So, what these interviewers need to do is, push back a little bit, saying, well, is there anything that you can prove? Get a little bit of something, a little something, saying, hey, can you prove some of this? Anything?
Or just ask. I still wonder, like, how do you watch a child movie, and not say, like, why didn't you report him? If this was he was showing you, this is illegal. This is not just illegal, it's so disgusting. Why wouldn't you report that person immediately?
Most definitely. And E. McBride said this is all madness, and you got that right. And her, making these allegations. Why isn't these news media outlets saying, well, how come you didn't report it? Why didn't you report it? You saw all of this. You were up close and personal. How comes you didn't report it? And just to deviate a little bit, but on the same thing, a girl in Iowa, a young girl who was age trafficked. I'm trying to get around all of these YouTube requirements. She took a metal object that had a point in it and put it into the guy that age trafficked her, and he died. And now she is going through court to where now she has 5 years of intensive what do you call it, probation. Now, and that is like some kind of reaction that someone would have if they were age trafficked, or if anything were held against their will and made to do these things, will find a way to get away. And the first thing what they do is they're going to tell someone. Jessica says, and she's having to go to court for murder. Absolutely crazy, most definitely. But then you have these oingo boingos who are just making up all this stuff, and when you have real people that actually face these things, are doing things to get away, harming or ending the life of someone who did that to them. It's crazy, but then again, you know, people don't want to be wrong. They want to say what they want to say, and they have people to insulate them, to put them in this little echo chamber, and they're not being questioned about it. I'm sorry.
No, you can see that with Evan Rachel Wood, where she says, I was essentially hard. What does that mean?
Man.
What exactly does that mean? There's no definition. There's no, like, what does essentially mean?
Mm-hmm.
Either you are or you're not.
Right.
Before you make that allegation. And that's not the first time she's made that allegation that she was essentially hard. Because when in 2016, when Trump went into got the presidency, that's exactly what she said. She felt hard.
And
how do you feel hard? That's a complete violation. The speech nowadays is just over the top. That's a violation. And for her to say that she felt that violated, that's somebody that really has never been, in those type of situations.
Mm-hmm. And for people, especially, I'm not picking on people who major in the liberal arts, because I did, and we get caught up in emotions and allow them to run wild and say some of the most outlandish things. For her to say, well, I heard Trump's speech and I felt hard. That is outrageous. Maybe way out there. Maybe I felt upset, disgusted. The guy is a knucklehead. I mean, put whatever adjective after that. But when you go to that extreme from 0 to 60, we have to bring people back. Because I know some of you all, and I do thank you for it. When I get a little out there, you're like, especially Jessica, I'm not picking on you. I have much love for you. Who brings me back? Say, come on, BGD, come down to earth. Come on, come down. Because I do. There are times where I do. But I have an atmosphere to where I'm checked. And we all need that. And if you get to the point to where you cannot be checked for what comes out of your mouth, that's a problem. That's a big problem.
And then, which is supposed to be the media. Hey, check. They're supposed to, like, hey, wait a minute. This happens and just check them a little bit. But no, they just go along with all this craziness. They're supposed to check them, but they don't. Like, how do you say you're art just because the person that you wanted is not elected to be president? That is not it. And to equate it to that is just, it's offensive, I would say, to somebody, to a victim, to an actual victim.
Let me get a couple of these chats here. Jessica says, so sad for that girl, talking about the girl in Iowa.
Yeah.
And then
that is disgusting that they would even think of prosecuting something like that. Shame on the government for that.
And then Jessica goes on to say, and most of these Hollywood girls are the actual abusers. And Jessica also says, I think Evan is confused about what grooming means. Oh, most definitely. It seems like that you can take a word and then you know what the definition is, but since it doesn't fit your narrative, you want to change it. Oh, all this emergency vehicles going up and down, to change it to mean what you want it to mean to fit your narrative. And then Lexi Pixie says, there's nothing confusing about being hard, but you don't feel like it. The girl is a Uggy, basically through Evan's eyes out there, lies. Oh my goodness, lies out there, and there though. So I got to be thankful for her for that. You know something? That is
I
very
agree,
true.
Lexi.
That's
You're
very true,
right.
Lexi. Because if she didn't lie the way she did so horrifically, we wouldn't be having this conversation here. You are so right. And then Jessica comes back and says, and these girls are so offended when asked for proof. You are so right. You are so right. And not only them, but that attitude is all across levels. Not only Hollywood, but the average everyday person. And I get into a lot of arguments just because I'm like, well, where did you get that information from? Because I like to look things up for myself and not just take anyone's word for it, but just to form my own opinion and not having someone form it for me. I like to, think freely. And then Lexi says Ashley admitting she lied was pressured by those women. Oh man, everything is going on. Okay, sorry about that. These women are like saying I lied because they're lying, and she should just switch sides. At this point, yeah, I mean she should. I mean she lied, and she might as well just come out and say, okay, I told the truth. So Um, E. McBride said there are many actual abusers. Yeah, yeah. And Jessica says exactly. Lexi Pixie says I'm not actually laughing, but um, I just like the emojis, even though I am smiling because I know he is innocent. And he is innocent, and this is a cruel lie, and they're going to have some sort of repercussions with with prison, and this is most definitely an offense. Lying
Sadly,
like
there is none unless I think how it works is because they're not going to prosecute somebody that just makes these claims, right? I think unless that person, the person that they made these claims about goes to prison, I think that's how it works. But they can say this claim, start the investigation. Basically, to me, the person gets branded. They get branded. If you get allegations like that, he's like Marilyn Manson, he's going to be branded for life.
yep, they
You
never
can't
go
go
away.
back on that. And the fact that they brought children into it, saying that he was doing this, he said stuff about children or he watched stuff, and then Evan Rachel Wood says that what he said about her son, that's just insane. I mean, to me, they should, but what California does is something different. But it should. You should not be able to say these things and just be like, okay, I said I'm okay. Well, I lied, because you never will be able to fix that problem.
Yeah, and what the court systems do. I got this information from the lead attorney. He's another YouTuber, and he's a lawyer, a former divorce lawyer, and he used to do criminal law. And he said the reason why they don't go after women is because that they don't want to make it to where women who are really abused to keep them from coming. So that's the reason why. So women can lie and lie and lie and just destroy people's lives, but they're not going to
Yes.
challenge it for those women who really need the services. And that right there is it. On one hand, it's a huge problem. But on the other hand, it's another huge problem if we stop it. It's going to be another huge problem if we start it. So no matter which way we go, if we go after the women to prosecute them who do tell these lies, it's going to show that those women who were actually abused to keep them from coming forward, because they're like, okay, that lady, she's in jail for 5 years or made to do this or that. It might make them recoil.
Yeah,
And
I get that, where you think, yeah, if I come out and it's not proven, then I'm going to be liable.
yeah,
But when it's outright, like Evan Rachel Wood, I mean, the audacity of her to spend taxpayer money, because now she wants them investigated for something else. All that money that it takes when you have, just lies, that should be paid by her.
yeah, that I agree. Jessica says there will always be people who believe their lies regardless of the proof showing of his innocence. That's absolutely right. Especially his public persona when he's on stage, he looks a little scary. Because when he first came out, I said this many times. He scared me. I equated him to Michael Myers, like.
Yes.
Um,
And it is his public persona that is going to be questioned.
he's an easy target.
He has said so many stuff. The same thing. He's a Hollywood person, so he says things that are over the top, and now it's coming back to bite him because it's so over the top that okay, well, what's true?
Very true. And Jessica comes back and she says, I feel that the cop out, honestly, it's a cop out, honestly. And E. McBride said, how are these women not having charges and perjury against them, the federal charges? Because they don't want to stop women from coming to court and pressing charges against people who really do abuse them. Now there are always going to be those dirtbags who abuse the law to take vengeance out on someone else. People do it all the time, whether it's a male or female. People just simply do. The problem is that if you go after them, those women who are really afraid to come out and go to the police and make a report and then say, okay, I want to press charges against this guy. Well, that lady got, and it's sad. And then Jessica comes back and says, people don't think about Rob Zombie, um, about killing people and maiming people. Yeah. Who is Rob Zombie? Can somebody help me out with that?
A musician.
He's a what?
Musician.
Oh, okay. Okay. Then Lexi comes back and says, I think, oh, wait a minute. I think, they might, okay, wait a minute. I think they may be overlooking the stage persona. They claim the photos, okay, that Paula Weiss was dead and a minor and a groupie. I'm just getting the facts mostly from Marilyn Manson's case he filed. Yeah, and again, his public persona, his videos, what he does on stage is really out there. And they taken what he does out in public and then say, well, people think that he's a Satanist anyway. And I had said it a couple of times, and then if I offended, please, I'm not trying to offend, but that's what he put out, and that's what I thought at first. And then I'm like, oh, okay, he's not. That's just what he does. That is his job. And then they take that and like, oh, okay, people already think that he's wild anyway. Let me go ahead and jump in it. And they did. They did. And then Jessica comes back and says, but Manson has been targeted since he started. Oh, okay. He has had a bunch of stuff blamed on him, like Columbine. Oh, really? And has been proven that Columbine people hated Manson. Wow. And Jessica comes back and says, he's a musician and a director. Okay, Rob Zombie. Okay, and Lexi comes back and says, "What about Rob Zombie? My God, please stop." Most definitely, and says nobody says anything about any sick horror flicks. And Jessica comes back and says it's hardcore in the whole genre. Yep. You have anything else to add on to it? Are you still there?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I agree with that. That there is hypocrisy with that. Where you have those horror movies, but that's okay. But then they don't get blamed on the directors. Like that's his fault, like Manson did with that Columbine.
Mm-hmm.
So there's hypocrisy in Hollywood in the way things are viewed. I most definitely agree with them.
One of these times I'm going to first. Let me say this. I did a video on the relationship between the press and government, and you should really check that out. I did it on Politics with Laura. There is a lot behind all of this stuff that is going on. And if you go on my other channel and check it out, and what I'm going to do is link that video to this live stream here so you can take a look at it.
Oh, most definitely. Thank you.
Because this right here is most definitely orchestrated. It is orchestrated, and I'm not saying that what's going on with Marilyn Manson just between them. No, it's way larger than that. So I'm going to make sure I link that in. But there's so much wild stuff that is getting us to look someplace else while there's something going on over here. So if we're looking over here, then they could continue doing whatever they're doing over there. So it's wild. It's wild. It's wild.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, with the media, and I don't even know if it's just like how can I explain this? Okay, when I look at articles about let's say if I look about Manson, right? Almost all the different magazines, but they all say the same thing, same quotes, same everything.
Yeah.
So it's almost as like if there's only one writer that's writing everything that's going to be put out, but just for different publications.
That's it right there. That's it. There's no more journalism. You take one thing. Matter of fact, do this. Every channel that you have, every news channel, just change the channel and you'll see them saying the same exact thing at different times. They'll say, the cat walked down the street, channel 3. Channel 4, the cat walked down the street. Channel 5, the cat walked down the street. Make it Channel 3. Marilyn Manson abused Evan Rachel Wood. Channel 4. Marilyn Manson abused Evan Rachel Wood. Channel 5. The same thing, the same narrative, all the channels. And if you look at who owns them, it's wild.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me, because to have the exact same words, same everything, when you go to different articles, I'm like, okay, there's something going on. Like I can't find something different. I'll find a whole bunch of the same article, same words, same everything.
And let me see. Let me go down because this chat is alive. Let me try to keep up. Let me see. Lexi says yes, just that's true. Then comes back and says Columbine, and even some guy showed up with a gun, was trying to kill him. Wow. And then I'm at the show, and then All Sorts says the problem with these Hollywood women is they have control over the media, and their false accusations are believed as the Holy Scripture. Most definitely. And then Jessica comes back and says, no, it wasn't about Rob Zombie. I'm a huge fan of his. I'm just talking about the stage persona compared to the real person. They actually are off stage. And in one of my old videos, that's what I did, the laughing and crying face. What you see on TV is not who they are going to the grocery store. Two different people. So they're only playing a role. Okay, wait a minute. Marilyn is playing a role when he's up there and he's singing his music and putting his product out there, and that's what it is. His product, right there's his business. And even when he stars in a couple of shows, that's what the character, what they want to portray. That's not who he is. He's a guy that goes to the store, buys his food like everybody else, does his laundry, unless if he's lucky and have somebody do it for him. But but people like Evan, who can't tell truth from reality. Oh well, even though that I was with him, this is him. He did this. It's wild. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm over here ranting.
I actually have. She did. I think that magazine's called Interview, where she addresses his on-stage persona, because when she got with him, all of a sudden, because of the nature, there's a 17-year difference between them, right? And he was married, so all of that caused them to get attention when they were a couple. So she addresses some of these issues. She keeps going on, People magazine, different article, and in this one article, an interview, she addresses that issue that people were like, well, you're with this guy who says all these things, the way he dresses, kicked on makeup, all of that, right? And she says that this is just an on-stage thing, and she says, he has never abused me. He doesn't even tell me what to wear. So she contradicts herself. So now, if it's a believe all women, when do I start believing her? When she said this originally, or now that she's saying this? Which is the truth?
Look, believe all women, believe all people. No, I don't even believe my neighbor down the hallway.
Yeah, sometimes I can't even believe myself, and I'm
you have to, at some point, have to show discernment when someone's telling you something. You got to stop and say, is this more likely?
On stage persona, because I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That how it is, because if you present yourself like you're a dirtbag, that's what people will perceive about you. And with Manson is that he's like forever wearing the makeup on stage, off stage. Okay,
that is true. That is very, very true. That's true. That is very true. So, wow, man, there's so many layers to this.
Yeah, that's where I think he messed up. I get it. That's his on stage, let me sell these albums for, get me my millions. I get it. But, I get why he said it, but I think that's going to be something that they're going to always bring up. He was brought up in the Johnny Depp trial, like Manson the demon or something. So I get it, but that's one thing that he's going to have to overcome, and if it goes to trial or whatever happens.
Yeah, he's going to most definitely have to do do two things, in my opinion. This is just simply me, and that is, one, know when to stop. When you're on stage, leave it there. And I do get that some celebrities who are musicians do keep on a makeup, like a Boy George. He tried to go someplace and he didn't have on his makeup and they didn't believe who he was. So he went, put on his makeup and came back, and then like, oh, Boy George. So I mean, I do get how you dress like that to get attention and let people know, oh, he's a real guy. He's out there among us. But then when do you stop and just simply be Brian Warner? If you're Marilyn Manson more than Brian Warner, it's going to be hard to distinguish. And then people can simply say, he did this. And you look around, I believe it. I very well could be wrong.
Yeah, is Jessica gonna call
in? If you want to call in, please let me know. If you want to call up and and say something, please type in that you want to call up. But I do appreciate you because you did most definitely give a lot of great points, and I do appreciate that.
Okay, it was good chatting with you.
And likewise, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, that was a great call. Most definitely a great call. So, and a lot of good info did come out of that conversation. And let me see. Okay, Jessica, you could um, come on up and call. And E. McBride said, God, I hope my ex GF, who is 27, I'm 39, doesn't come back years later to accuse me of grooming her. You know, um, you have to look at the person that you're with. If you have somebody who's a little like flighty, expect anything. Anything. And I said in the previous video that by Evan having a hard time to distinguish between what is real and what is fake or what is not real, who knows how much of Evan he actually dated? Was it her delusion or was it her? I mean, it gets deep. It really gets deep. But back to Ashley Smithline, that right there, in my opinion, and this is just simply me. To me, I think it does a couple of things. Is that one? It keeps her in the press. Good attention is better than no attention. Who actually knew her or knew of her until this? Okay. Hey, BGD, what say you?
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Good afternoon. What would you like to contribute?
Well, we could start off with like the branding if you wanted to. I know some people were interested in that, and
you go right ahead.
I'm into a lot of different kind of body modifications. I've been doing piercings for like 15 years. My husband does tattoos and like that whole kind of community and different, because there's all different kinds of body modifications and things like that people do willingly. I mean, obviously, like they do it to animals and other people when it's not. But branding, it's not gonna look how she says that it looks. Like a brand, like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like if you put your arm on a hot stove, it's kind of the same thing. Just a branding is just a burn. You just get something hot, which is usually metal.
So
it's usually in the shape of something or a word or something like that, some kind of design, and they hold it onto your skin. It hurts a lot, and then there's a burn, and then once it heals, it's in the scar. Is in the shape of whatever it was that they had added.
Right.
Now those pictures right there, that doesn't, any of the stuff that I've seen for Cher, or spoke about, none of it looks like it's legit. And she was caught posting pictures that she had just Googled, and she had no face or anything on him. She's like, this is what he did to me. And she was called out pretty quickly on that one.
Okay.
And she has since deleted it. But just her trying to say that she would have a lot more damage to her. And branding, it doesn't go away. The scar doesn't go away. It's like, you have a piercing or a tattoo. Even if you get a tattoo removed, there's still scarring. Pretty decent amount of scarring.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I'm learning something new every day.
Yeah, no matter what, like there's going to be scarring. And especially, that's the main point of a brand. And it's just pretty crazy that the stuff that she's trying to throw out just because of how he looks, and she thinks people will believe it, and it's kind of wild on that one because, like I said, she would have massive scarring, and if it wasn't done properly by a professional or somebody who knew what they were doing, she would have had to have gone to the hospital because they get infected extremely easy, especially branding. Out of all the modifications and stuff, branding is one that gets infected quite often because it's a burn.
Okay, one quick question. Nibs and Jab says, how long would the brand take to heal?
A couple months probably, because if you think about it, it's like you've ever pulled out like a cooking sheet from the oven, you burned your arm, or even like a sunburn. Like you get a sunburn, and it takes a couple of days just to heal, just for that. And I'm a cook. I've been working in kitchens for about 20 years, so I've burned myself enough. So if you cooked it all and you get a burn, and it's just a quick one, it can take as little up to an entire week to completely heal, and that's on like a good day care of it and stuff. But when you do a branding, it can take anywhere from months to maybe a year to heal. It depends on if you hit it, if you've taken care of it, if it gets infected, if it's taken care of properly. And it also depends on like where you live. If you live in a more tropical area and it's wetter and stuff, you've got to make sure you keep it dry. And if you're in a hotter, drier place, you've got to make sure that you keep it moist. And it's complicated. It's not, yeah.
Okay. E. McBride said something about keloid scarring, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Keloid scarring, yeah.
Okay.
Keloid scarring, and that is. Okay. And usually when you get a burn, it takes a while to heal because it's layers and layers of healing. It's different amounts of healing on different areas. Like if you go into like a hospital and you're a burn victim, that can take months of having to go to the hospital and having it taken care of properly so it heals properly.
I'm learning something new because I learned about keloid scarring. I just thought scarring was scarring and that was it, but I'm learning.
A lot of piercings too, like belly buttons, and I've seen a lot of the cartilage in the ears. They're very, very, very prone to get the keloid in it, and it's hard to get rid of that, especially too.
That is something. Oh man, these lies are so.
They are huge and they are intense. That's what I'm saying. And I've talked about previously, like the relationship that I was in was extraordinarily abusive. And one night he had flipped out on me and had grabbed me. I was trying to leave. I caught him doing something and I was trying to leave and he didn't want me to leave.
I remember.
And he grabbed me by my hair, threw me down. He was punching me repeatedly. And I was off work for a couple of days, but I had work like 2 days after that. And I had marks all over my face that I had to put extra cover up on. I had to wear a long sleeve shirt because I had bruises and scratches of him just grabbing me. And they are saying that what happened to them was like 100 times more and was so frequent. These people would have so much damage. So much damage. It was like Amber talking about Johnny with his ring. And my ex hit me with his ring one time, and it totally screwed my face up just once, and he only has one ring. So, but so like them just trying to say all this crazy, horrible, just like horror movie type of stuff has happened to them. But well, the bruising isn't as bad as you would think it would be. They say, but that doesn't make any sense at all.
Jessica, if you had an opportunity to tell Evan Rachel Wood, Ashley Smithline, and even Amber Heard, if you were able to look them in their face, what would you say to them?
Well, I mean, like earlier something was talked about like real survivors could get offended and stuff. And when I'm a very, very empathetic person, and so I can understand people's pain and why they do things they do, even if it doesn't make it right. I can understand, they've been abused or this happened or that happened. And so, but with these, like I have nothing. I have no remorse, no empathy, nothing for them. I think they are literally the lowest pieces of the world. Like they really, to be able to just completely, what they're doing to these people is what it feels like when this stuff has actually happened to you. Like it takes a piece of you away. And they are portraying these people as monsters, and they are the actual monsters. Like everything that's happening to them has not made me or any of the other people that I know that have been in situations similar, it has not made anybody worried about coming forward. If anything, it has put a fire under a lot of people's butts to want to stand up and be like, no, this is what happened to me, and here's the proof. This is what you would look like. This is what it would be. Like, I didn't even have half of what you said happened. He hit me one time, and my whole face was busted. You know, like different things like that.
Wow, that is powerful, and I'm really glad that this is occurring for those people who really were victimized in that manner to say, hey, no, you're lying. This is what it looks like. That is some Hollywood stuff. This is reality.
Exactly what a lot of us, and when I say us, like I know some people that have been in situations like it, because it's a lot more common than people really realize. And you know, and then just talking to people like online and stuff on like different discussion forums and stuff, and every single person that I have talked to is this exact same way. Like, no, you know, if you want to see what it looks like to be hit with vibrams on your hand, this is what it looks like. You want to see what bruising when you get choked out? This is what it looks like. You got your face beat in on the bed and there's no blood. That's not what would happen. A couple of pictures that are moved, you know, from the frames and stuff. That's not what happens. Everything is a mess. There is glass and blood everywhere. Your hair is not brushed. Your face is puffy just from crying because your body goes into like shock and it reacts, and it's different.
Yep. That's when some kind of what is it? Adrenaline kicks in.
Yes, exactly.
And that kicks in, and it's like whatever is occurring, it doesn't hurt or affect you at that very second, but afterwards, that's when everything starts. Oh my goodness.
And like Ashley tried saying that this happened, he started on her the day she got there.
And that right there.
That wouldn't happen. She wouldn't stay, even if it had started that day, which some people are that bad. But you would not stay after that. You have no emotional holding you there. You have no time spent. There's nothing. You would have left immediately. And I don't care what anybody else said. Unless you are enjoying yourself, you would have left.
Yep. And that is, I'm so glad you said that. That is so true. Unless if you enjoyed it, you would have left. Her story just makes no sense. You come for a job, and then all of a sudden he's beating up on you.
Right.
There is no need to.
If that's your employer, especially.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make any sense, and it goes back to my previous comment earlier. Anything that I have ever talked about or said to anybody, I have made sure that I had a way to back it up.
Yep.
Because somebody could be like, "You're lying. He wouldn't do that. That's not true." And I'm like, "Okay, well, look at these messages of him talking about how he did it. Let's show these pictures of what he did to me, you know, and videos of him doing it. You know, I never, ever had a problem showing any kind of proof. Ever. And if you're not lying, then that shouldn't be a problem.
That's
at
right.
all.
That's right.
That
is right.
I have never once gotten offended when somebody was like, "Well, can you prove it?" On anything, not even just abuse, just anything. And they get so offended when you ask for it, like you should just believe them.
Wait a minute, I think my screen has. Oh no! Yeah. Oh no! What do I do? Goodness.
You might have to restart it.
Oh man. Oh no. Okay, I'm still. Okay, how do I do this? Let me refresh. Hopefully this works.
Fingers crossed.
Oh my goodness. Okay, wait a minute. I'm coming back on. Oh, wait a minute. Is am I still okay? Why is my oh come on camera?
Oh, we can still hear it. Yeah, I can still hear it. There's just no video.
Okay. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm having technical difficulties.
Please hold.
This is crazy.
Intermission. Potty break.
Oh man. Okay. Oh, this is something crazy. Start back. Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Well, this is crazy. I am so sorry. I know you can hear me, but now my let me unplug this and see if this works. Okay, allow. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry.
It happens.
Thank you all for sticking with me. I do appreciate you. But keep on talking, Jessica, while I fix this.
Okay. But with the Ashley Morgan Smithline thing, like I was saying, if it would have happened as soon as she got there, it wouldn't have continued. And I have no doubt in my mind about that at all. I feel like that was just complete bull. And like earlier, when I'm not sure, I think it might have been Lexi who said it, but sorry, 1 second.
I got it back on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh man.
There she is.
Okay, I'm back.
But if it would have started as soon as she said it started, then it wouldn't have continued. And if any of these girls had seen children being harmed, or even any other girls in that aspect, like if for that matter, like for what they're trying to say they saw and then they never spoke up, is just wild to me. First of all, like that's not a good look.
Right.
And I had what I was going to say and I forgot.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it was in regards to what was it? Oh, Ashley Morgan Smithline standing forward and saying that she was coerced to do all this and whatnot, and it was all a lie. It kind of just proves that Evan's whole story is kind of a lie. Because if they're having to force people to do that and coerce them, and they're having to get their story straight, I mean, if you're telling the truth, there's nothing to get straight. And there's really not.
And that and that's what Smay Balog was saying. She was saying that they called her, and she said that didn't happen. And she said that didn't happen, and you have to take responsibility because you're putting this out there, and that's not true.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. So, I mean, I did do a video on her, and I think I might need to add her portion to other videos that I do to combat what they're saying, because it's out. The cat is out the bag. She said, yeah, well, Evan forced me to do it. No, Evan, yes, she may put pressure on you, but it's up to you to say yay or nay and deal with whatever she does. I think I would rather deal with her than dealing with a lawsuit from Marilyn Manson.
When you stand up and you make such huge allegations on somebody, not like, oh, he cheated on me or, whatever, but he did all these horrible things, you can't put that on anybody else. Nobody coerced you to do that. Like, you decided to do that. Like, you decided to completely try to ruin somebody's life. You set out on a witch hunt for this man. And it's not going her way. And so now she's backtracking saying, oh, Evan made me do it.
Yeah, and now, oh my goodness, now Amber Heard and Ashley Smithline and all these women, their names are bywords now. Like I was talking to my nephew, and he was over his friend's house, and he and his friend's girlfriend and he got into an argument, and he said, "You were not gonna Amber Heard me." I was like, he turned her into a. I was like, wow.
That's funny because my husband and I bruise pretty easy, and with us moving and stuff, I ended up having a pretty big bruise on my leg. And I made a joke about it. Because I don't remember what it was, but we were joking about something, and I was like, "Careful, I'll Amber Heard you. I'll tell everybody you did this." And not to be joking in our house and that kind of stuff at the time. But like. That's what they are, though. Like, they're laughing stocks. They're jokes, and it's.
Yeah, they are. They are laughing stocks.
I don't even know if there's if I actually would have words that I could say to them, because like I said, like, they're worse. Somebody accusing somebody is literally just as bad as doing that to somebody. To me, it's the same, and they should be treated as such. Like, I really feel like if you accuse somebody of SA, and it has been found 100% that it's a lie, like that one girl was like, "Oh, I just needed attention. It was a lie. Sorry, haha."
Yep.
I feel like she should be convicted of the time that whatever she accused of, what that other person would have got if he was found guilty. That's what the accuser should get.
Yeah, and the guy, I learned that he had raised a stink about it, and oh, thank you so much. He had raised a stink about it, and then the prosecutor, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Put her in jail. I think she did like 6 years. I'm not quite sure, but she did get some time. That happened up in New York.
Okay, New York City. Good. Well, that's a start. And I wasn't sure, but it's just really wild to me that, Amber Heard was sued for defamation, and it was found that she was in the wrong, and she has just continued to do so. And now she's over in where she is, Israel, I think, and they don't uphold the American laws and stuff. So Amber Heard is able to just go over there and sit with all her assets and be able, she could take whatever she wanted over there, and they won't send her over, and they'll let her spend all her money there.
Well, of course. I mean, any country would welcome. Say, hey, come on, bring your millions. Yes.
Except
bring your
Australia.
money. Yeah. Well, yeah, Australia, they would get you.
Yeah.
But I wonder how. I don't. Well, Virginia is one of those no-nonsense states, because they would find a way to freeze your assets. And by Amber having a malicious tort to her case, they could possibly take it up to the federal level and then freeze it wherever it is, because the United States can freeze somebody's food stamps over in another Let me stop. Let me stop. Oh my goodness.
I just don't understand how there's not been any real repercussions, and they're still doing it. Like all of these, her sister Whitney, Eve, all of them are just still going. And like Evan and all these other girls, Ashley, they're allowed to just publicly do all this.
Well, well, just keep in mind, it's still going through, right?
For the Evan one, yes.
It's still going through. It's making its cycles, but believe me, people are looking at them. Matter of fact, case in point, the Martin show. Tish Campbell accused Martin Lawrence of all these outrageous things.
Right.
And that it got so bad to the point to where they did not even film in the same room. They had filmed at different times, and she kept on saying he's doing this, he's doing that, and it wasn't true. So then he threw his hands up. He paid her some money.
Oh my God.
And then he said, look, you can have the show. I can't deal with you. You're doing all this. You're doing way too much. So he left the show. As soon as he left the show, he had Bad Boys.
Yeah.
And then his career started going up, but her career started going down. So when they start talking, so he was talking about doing a reunion or doing something with some stars. Guess who came crawling back?
Of course she did.
Tish Campbell. And Martin was like, I'm good. And she's like, well, why? Really? Do you really have to ask yourself why?
Well, it's just like Evan. If Manson, Brian, if he were to call her and text her or just wave his finger at her, she would literally drop everything and crawl back to him on all fours with a ball gag in her mouth and said, let's do it. I have no doubt in my mind. So what, and it just blows me away that she really thought that doing all of this, like what did she think was going to happen?
And okay, and let's say in her delusional mind, let's just say that he does go back. Could he trust anything that she does?
No, exactly.
He would have
exactly it. Like what was she thinking was the outcome would be? You're gonna put all these allegations out there. Obviously you're gonna ask, somebody's gonna ask for proof. I could walk up and I could be like, Evan or Rachel Wood, she assaulted me. I said it, so get her right now.
Get her.
They're supposed to get her, right?
Get her.
That's what she's saying, because I said she did it.
Yep.
And that's exactly, but it doesn't go that way. It's only for their way. And like I was saying, if it was true, the truth wouldn't be a problem. You wouldn't get offended by it at all. And you would have it ready and be so forthcoming, like, this is what he did. This is what happened. This is what happened. See?
And walk you through it.
Public with it to anybody. You're gonna have stuff to back it up, no matter what.
You're absolutely right. You'll be able to walk through it step by step by step and have no problems doing it because it is not your truth, not their truth, but the truth. And people need to stop saying, oh, it's my truth. No.
No.
The truth has no.
I hate that thing.
The truth has no possession to it. The truth is exactly what it is. The truth.
Nowadays, the truth is three sides: side A, side B, and then the real side.
It's so crazy. It is so crazy. And now just watch. These ladies making all these outlandish comments and statements, and they're going onto these shows. Now, Evan Rachel Wood and Ashley Smithline, all these ladies should really stop and think. You're going on these shows to get your message out. These companies are making money off of you, and you're putting your truth out there to everyone to see, and they see this is crazy and say, okay, X her name off. Oh no. Oh no, not her. Oh nope, not. Oh,
Yeah,
they are destroying their careers and don't even know it yet. It
exactly.
hasn't hit them yet. They're
They
still
are a laughing
flying.
stock in all and everywhere. They are literally like everybody. They're jokes. Like I said, me and my husband joke about, well, Amber heard ya, you know, and I'll walk out of the room and be like, go put your cigarettes out on somebody else, you know, and it's jokes that we make all the time, all of this stuff. And like Ashley Smithline, she's one that we started because when she did her interview, and she was so high on ketamine and she couldn't even talk. And then I further looked into her, and she talks about, oh, she wasn't fed. She doesn't eat. You can look at her. The only thing this girl ingests is probably through her nose, honestly, because she is like so skinny. Like it's really, really like anorexic skinny. And she photoshops her pictures. She edits them so much. She looks like a used up rat doll.
Wow.
And it's so bad. And her Instagram, it's like 10 different girls. It looks like she takes pictures of people that look like her and then makes it how she wants it to look. And they look like monster high rat dolls. None of it looks like a real person. So I don't know exactly what her modeling is. But it's not that great. Because she's not some supermodel. She's not got anything to do like with Tyra Banks or any of that. She calls herself a model because she posts pictures on Instagram and she's worked with a couple agencies, but she's really not.
You know what's interesting is that I was watching an interview with Jubilee, and they had supermodels, and then they had Instagram models, and then the supermodels were saying, all this noise. The supermodels were angry, saying that we work hard at this.
Yes.
You just don't get up and just get in front of a camera and take pictures. There is so much more to it because
these girls are making a mockery of the model industry.
And the guy was saying is that you are basically getting a thought across. Whatever you are selling or whatever you're doing, your body movement, your face, there must be an emotion expressing whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah, it's
and
not
you're
just
getting there saying,
looking pretty. It's really, really not.
You're just sitting there doing this. Oh.
Right? Sitting there posting half naked pictures that have been obviously photoshopped doing duck face and all that. That's not modeling. And just because you have thousands of pictures and thousands of followers does not make you a model at all.
Yeah, especially when you are an Instagram model or especially in OnlyFans models. Poor things. I feel so bad for them.
It's different. I have nothing against like the OnlyFans and the people that do that. Nothing against it, but don't deny it. Don't try to be something that you're not. Just because I can go put on scrubs and I can get a stethoscope, that doesn't make me a doctor.
Oh yeah, very true. Very true, very true.
I own a cat and I can take care of her when she gets sick. That doesn't make me a vet. Yeah. And I just don't see Ashley Smithline like she's washed up. She saw something that might bring her back, and she ran with it. It had nothing to do. I really don't think she was pressured. I think that they said, "Oh, look at this. We have this," and she was like, "This looks like fun," and that's what I think happened.
Now, E. McBride says, Smithline.
Exactly. She eats through her nose.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Okay. It says that she is a Jenny Crank diet. Oh my goodness. You got jokes. Oh my goodness. And then Phantasm Ether says, sadly, I can see people still clinging to the Manson, bringing guilty and being guilty even when he's profoundly innocent. Yeah, like JD. Yeah, and
See, and that's what I think too is exactly going to happen because, like I said, Manson has been the target to point stuff back. Like when Columbine happened, and they tried saying that they were, wearing Manson makeup and Manson clothes, and all of that was false. And it was come to find out that these boys actually hated Manson. He thought he was their exact words was wussy, but with a P.
Okay.
Because he wears makeup like a girl. They couldn't stand Manson, but they still tried to put it on him. Just things like that all the time. And that's one of the things that I was worried about, and I really want the cameras in the courtroom for, is public opinion, just like JB had. And so many people are going to automatically assume he is guilty. And they're not going to want to hear anything else. They don't care. Because of how he looks and what he does on stage, he's guilty, he's gross, all this different stuff. And I've seen it in a lot of different places. And it's like Amber Heard. She's got fans that refuse to watch the trial or any of it. And I spoke with some of them online and they just refuse. They absolutely refuse.
Yeah, on Twitter, I got in a small little one exchange with Amber Heard's fans, and what I do is whenever I say something about someone, I put it directly to them, so I said this about you. Not that you have to wait for somebody to come and then give it. No, you're getting it. And then they responded back to me, Amber Heard, Amber and Eve, something. And I was saying, when are you going to call out Amber Heard for, abusing Eve?
Right.
And they were like, well, no, actually, then they came back and said to me how, said BG, big girl, instead of BGD, but big girl is, what was that? I'm trying to remember, being a little mean or something of that sort. And I said, no. When are you going to call her out? And then I took the picture of Eve with a black eye and have a little arrow going towards it and say, when are you going to call Amber out? You're protecting Amber. Who's protecting Eve?
Right.
And nothing. They did not respond back. It was like crickets.
I had something similar kind of with the Britney Spears thing. I mean, it's a completely different situation, but I was never a fan of Britney Spears, but when the Free Britney movement happened, and I was all for it, and I was helping share the stuff of, what she was going through and all that. And then when the conservatorship finally ended, and then everything kept happening, and then it was just more and more and more, and then her most recent one, she was fat shaming Christina Aguilera and her dancers, and then a few minutes later posted that she wasn't fat shaming, but she had posted, and it's still there, posted a picture saying, something along the lines of, I always feel my best, or I've learned that the best way to look, or the way to look the best is to hang out with fat people, or something like that, and then tried saying that she wasn't fat shaming, and I had left a comment saying, before that, but it's just showing concern, who's doing this, and I'm literally just showing concern. And I've had so many, and one of them is very frequent for me is, so, how did it go? It was, I bet your enablers tell you look like a woman, Jessica. And people tell me, they just start going off about how I must be a man, and my enablers tell me that I'm a woman and have me convinced that I'm actually a woman. And so I finally said, I was like, okay, if I'm not a woman, if I have a P, why is your concern? Why are you so concerned about my extra appendage? Why does that have to do with anything? And they had nothing to say, and they just get so ugly and nasty when you try to point out, and like I said, I wasn't even being mean. I was just like, something's wrong, this, and it was just pure concern. She can do whatever she wants, and you're just mad because you're a man and you look like a man. Just crazy stuff like that. And the Amber Heard, they just get mean and nasty, and they will attack you personally, like, oh, you're ugly. Okay, and doesn't mean she doesn't need mental health, but okay, thank you for your opinion, but that's not even what the discussion was, but okay. And anybody that's defending any of them, Evan Rachel Wood, all of them, they don't they don't have good comebacks. They don't have an actual argument. It's like arguing with a fifth grader.
Mm-hmm.
You're fat. You're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You're ugly. Mm-hmm. And that's basically it. And it's just constant. And if you go through Britney Spears' Instagram and all of her posts, you have 90% of the people going, yes, queen, and this is amazing, and yeah, you should be you first, and then a mom second, and all this stuff. And one of her real fans will show some kind of concern, like you look really tired, or just something in that sense, like I'm worried about you, I hope everything's okay. And people, like 200 comments on replies on them, talking bad about this person, threatening their lives, threatening their family, telling them they're ugly and they're stupid and all this stuff. When they're just like, hey, I'm worried about her well-being. She's fine, leave her alone.
Well, you
and
might
go off on these crazy tangents.
And the thing is this, you might want to look at, are they really bots or are they really people saying this? Because
and see that I do that too. I will, especially if it's a response to me, I will click on it and make sure that it's like a profile and see like what it's about, who it is, because there are so many bots, and you have there were people for Amber Heard admitting that they had made 50 different fake accounts to be 50 different people in order to help, her cause and to back her up and all that. And that's crazy.
Because I remember somebody leaving me a message, I can't remember who it was, many videos ago, saying that Amber Heard was watching me. I'm like, well, good. Have her call in so I can interview her. I'll interview her.
And I know that Ashley Smithline, she watches Colonel Kurtz. Mm-hmm. And Colonel Kurtz has given you a call out, and since you're discussing a lot of the Manson case and her, she probably watches yours as well.
If you're watching, call in. I'll be right there's my number. I'll be happy to talk to you. I want to hear your side of this stuff.
You know what? If Ashley Morgan is listening, call in, send either any of us a message, doesn't matter. But, the truth will set you free and you'll be forgiven. It's not too late, but It will be if you don't.
Yeah, and I on one hand, Evan Rachel Wood being the, shall I say, mastermind of all this stuff, all of this wild stuff, that these people either feeling that they cannot walk away from Evan Rachel Wood, or feel too frightened, or whatever Evan's power is over, or alleged whatever power she has over them.
Yeah.
Feel that they have to see it through because she says so. But I guess at some point they're gonna have to say, put on their big girl panties.
Yep.
And say, I'm gonna woman this out, and say, Evan, you're on your own. Goodbye. See you, and I really don't want to be you, and keep it going.
And it makes me wonder, like, you got Ezra Miller, who's promising these people all this stuff openly. Mm-hmm. And then you got Amber Heard, and you kind of see what her appeal and her pull is. But Evan Rachel Wood, what is her pull with everybody? What is her leverage on these people? Because Evan, she is smart. She is brilliant. She's talented, and she really, really is brilliant. Obviously, she's not as intelligent as she thinks she is. I think she's got I really think she's got like borderline personality disorder or something that makes she's got a hard time differentiating reality from fake, and her own family has said that.
Okay,
what is she saying to people, like Illma and all these other girls? What is her leverage? Mm-hmm. That's what I want to know, like you were saying.
What do you think about this? Nibs and Jab says, I think Gore is the mastermind, but Evan went along with it.
Gore and I thought about that also. Evan was scorned and had these issues, and then she had Illma sitting there saying, well, let's do this. So that is a possibility, and especially if Evan has a hard time differentiating from everything, Illma could totally be a puppet master and pulling all of the strings. All of them could be. And that's another one I have weighed, like A and B. Either Evan, ringleader in it, or it is actually Illma and she's just pulling strings.
I don't know. I don't know. I briefly thought about that, and I'm just thinking that Illma would be a great scapegoat. She really
Yeah.
would. Now, I think that as delusional Evan is, Illma was her foot soldier. She went out and she did everything. If you look back at some of the things, she was called. Brighton said that Illma was working on a letter and conferring with Evan as far as what it should say.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and she was sending her the letters and stuff.
right. Oh, Nib Jab says Jessica is on point, and I do agree.
Thank you very, very much.
Yes.
No, but with the Evan, Rachel, with Illma, she's been known to be a scam artist. Like, that's what she's known for. She got in trouble with Louis Vuitton for doing that toilet. She made the news, because she did that picture of Trump. And then she told all these people, send me this money, send me $10, and I will get your picture tattooed on me. Whatever you want. And then she never got any of the tattoos done.
Okay. Just that type of level of scamming, and the level of scamming what is going on now. She doesn't have access to people the way Evan Rachel Wood would.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, I most definitely understand where you're coming from, Nib and Jabs, as far as thinking that Illma Gore could be the mastermind. I think it's the opposite. I think it's more so that she is being manipulated by Evan Rachel Wood because Illma was, in my opinion, in love with her.
Yeah, just like Eve with Amber. I feel like that's Illma with Evan.
Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Gore is scandalous. Gore has a history of scamming. Yeah, most definitely. But
the thing, Evan could have searched her out too, because she knew that she was good at this stuff, and then Evan had the resources. So it could be that.
But Evan also has a history of scamming too. But she scammed. I mean, how did? Man, oh man, I get where you're coming from. I do. I just don't necessarily agree. I agree to a certain extent, but I don't agree that she was a mastermind of all this, because if you look at it, it's a complete mess.
It's a huge mess.
It's a complete mess.
And I don't know which way it's coming from. I just, I've said, and just all the different things that it could be.
Wait a minute. Phantasma says Ether says Illma is the OG Jesse Smollett. You all got jokes. Oh my goodness. I swear I love you all. You all are too much. Nibs and Jab says Gore said the money would be donated and never wait. She said wait a minute, isn't that Amber Heard or Gore said
Illma did it too. Illma said she had promised, I don't remember exactly which place it was, but she had promised them a whole bunch of money and did this whole thing to fundraise raise money for them, and they made a statement. They completely wrote her off. They don't expect a dime from her.
It's something. E. McBride said, I'm telling you, Illma is disgusting, and I really want to knock her out. Stand in that long line. I mean, there's many people who want to do that. Nibs and Jab says Illma has made false claims for attention. And mostly people who have, okay, how can I say this? People who have low self-esteem, identity issues, have all these issues, need outside validation to make them feel good as a human being. and
Exactly.
do stuff like this to get attention. And we called them, let me see, back in the 90s, attention garden tools.
I like that.
Attention garden tools.
Well, and it's like if they're not getting attention, they will make up things to get the attention. Like they'll like, oh, I'm this kind of person, and I, you know, I'm Jewish, and I came from Paris, and I, you know, my natural hair color is blonde, and you find out that, you know, they're not Jewish. They were born in Idaho, and their natural hair color is black, type of thing. Just like a, yeah, just like an analogy type of thing. But they literally just make up who, they don't have their own personality at all. They're not their own person. They take pieces and put it together what they think will get them attention.
Yeah.
What will get them praised.
And Lexi Pixie says, did you hear Illma Gore claim she was punched by a Trump supporter?
And then she posted pictures about it, and her eye was all bloody and stuff.
Yeah, I did a video on that. I did, and I'm just, man, oh man, oh man.
I figured she was just dating Amber Heard for a minute.
Really?
I was just joking.
Oh, I was gonna say, wow, they're worse than guys passing these women around. Oh my goodness.
No, it's just more of a joke. She had a black eye.
Oh my god, I got it. Put, and that would be a good one to put her in there too. Everybody. Oh my goodness. This is too funny. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. Oh man, the level of silliness, the level of immaturity, the level of just straight chaos. It is out of
I
this
just
world.
have a really hard time believing anybody that would steal somebody's identity, but especially their sibling, but even more their twin.
Wait a minute. Wait.
That's just wild.
Oh, wait a minute. Jib and Jab said that Illma Gore also said she kidnapped she was kidnapped by an Uber driver.
But she could never name him or anything. Nobody was ever caught. Nothing. She didn't have a receipt to the ride. Nothing.
Couldn't have been somebody like now if I were gonna make something like that up, I'm gonna have to make sure that it's believable. Like I got kidnapped by the Pillsbury Doughboy, and he was giving me candies, and he
He needed to take him to the Muffin Man.
That's even better. That's even better. This is something. Oh my goodness.
But some of the stories that they're weaving, it's going to make for some really good movies that people decide to take their obviously lies and fake stories and make a movie. So it would make great movies.
Oh my! Jib and Jab says that Illma Gore scammed money out of her grandmother. You know, you got to be some.
She literally scammed every single person that has been close to her or tried to help her.
You have to be some level of foul. You have to be below amoeboid. The crust alongside of the earth to where the earth and the sea meet. That film right there. You got to be that low to do something like that.
Just trying to be a grandparent. Like, come on. And like she's got enough of a standing that I feel like she doesn't like. Why is she needing to scam people so much now? All the time, like doesn't she's got Evan and she's got all this other stuff. She's this great artist, right? Then why is it all this other stuff? Then why is she having to constantly do this?
Well,
and why if she was telling the truth and her and Evan were telling the truth, then why was she having to pretend to be your sister?
It's not hard to pretend to be your sister when they're identical twins.
Yeah, I feel so bad for her sister for that. Like that's kind of like the ultimate betrayal. Like that's worse than like in my eyes, it's worse than like getting cheated on by like your partner. Like that's your twin.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've got some. I love twins. I think twins are just like this beautiful thing. Like they have like this connection and bond. And I have some friends that are sisters and they're twins, and their communication and just their word is beautiful. It is so beautiful to me. And all of the twins I've seen are like that. They're very close until you get Illma.
Oh my goodness. I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, oh, okay, I see where she's. Oh yeah, and I have this thing. Oh yeah, okay, twin. And Illma like,
And then there's Illma, and like she used it. Like there's a movie called The Island, and like they have themselves cloned, and then they have like they're sick, and so they have themselves cloned, and then they harvest the organs or whatever is needed for that person, the blood or whatever, for the real person. The clones find out what's going on. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's how Emma looks at Brighton. Like that's her, that's her little whatever she needs that she can use out of her.
You have to be. Oh my goodness, you have to have such a low. You have to be such a low person just to scan to look at everybody.
When they have the standing and platform that they do, like how did she think that was gonna look? Did she think Brighton wouldn't say anything after she's done stuff to Brighton several times? Like how did she think that was gonna look?
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that most of them they really don't think at all. They don't have the brain capacity, I guess.
Fantastic Ether. You know something, you got jokes. He says, man, I want to be kidnapped by the Pillsbury Doughboy. Give me them cookies.
You better be careful throwing out allegations on the Pillsbury Doughboy. People start saying things on him too.
Oh.
He did it to me too.
Wait a minute. The Pillsbury Doughboy, he trafficked me. He had a cookie. Let me stop. Let me shut up.
You held a cookie to my head.
Oh my goodness. You all got jokes for days. Wait a minute.
Homosexual, Illma, Gore, exactly. That's right. That is completely right. Homosexual.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is just too much. I love you all. I swear I do. You all are too much. But back to the case. I have to say, I hope it's televised because what they did it in public.
Yes.
So then they ought to be judged in public. That only makes sense. And this is right. This really gets me about people who do things in public. They don't want to be critiqued or admonished in public.
And that's what
they want to be set aside. Go ahead.
Same thing, but if you're going to publicly throw all these allegations, do all these interviews, but all of a sudden you don't want it televised, you don't want it public. Why? Makes no sense. Like you can talk about it publicly, but nobody else can.
That's right.
Okay, I guess that makes sense in your world, Evan.
Hey, people have a great way of doing mental gymnastics. They can do mental gymnastics they can make a statement that's so outrageous and just do backflips to make it sound right, and then do cartwheels to make whatever they said to make that sound right, to make that sound right. I mean, it is outrageous.
Yeah. And then with what they do these days, it seems like they will start off, they will plant a seed, and they're like, okay, this is what happened to me. Oh, well, when did that happen? Well, do you have proof? Well, this happened, and this happened, and this, and then more lies just come up, and then you're like, okay, but what about the proof? Well, this happened, and this happened, and this happened. Oh, okay, but that still was no proof. Well, I said it.
Yeah. And I have to find that in her declaration to where she said that. She said,
yes.
Don't believe Marilyn. Don't believe his facts. Believe mine because I graced you. Wait a minute. I graced you with my presence.
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't believe Brian's actual evidence. Don't even look at that. You need to listen to my words.
Yep, and listen to what I'm saying. Oh, and by the way, look at my documentary. Look at that also.
Yeah.
She's a folio. Oh, a folio.
I couldn't believe they allowed that documentary, without anything. Like, these companies are just, I don't even know.
Well, the courts, the companies, they're looking for what do you call it? People to watch their program, and if and then if she wants to be so outrageous and to be looked upon as a fool, well, go ahead. We'll put you on. We're going to get ratings. We're going to get these companies these advertisement dollars because there's going to be advertisement in between. You're going to give us money because you are a doggone fool and an international fool at that. It's one thing about being a national fool, but when you take your fooldom to the international level, you deserve any and everything that you get. Like, for an example, you can't make this stuff up. I did a video on this lady named Tess. Now, Tess is actually, she's bigger than I am. I'm a big girl, but she got me beat, right?
The actress?
No, just some regular Jane Doe.
Okay.
And she said, look, you all brace yourself for this. I'm serious. Brace yourself. She said a dietitian came up to her and said, I'm not a medical professional and I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist, but I think you have anorexia.
What?
No, it gets good. It gets good. Hold on, wait. Let me go ahead and do this scenario. And then, and then this folio, she goes, I think it was on NMSB News or NBC or whatever it was, and told the lady that she is anorexic.
I remember this.
That she's anorexic, and there are different forms of anorexia. So I had to bring it out. Okay, what is anorexic? Anorexic is when you're not taking in food. This woman didn't miss a meal, and then she had my meal, your meal, and everybody else's meal. But she's anorexic.
Different forms of anorexia,
she didn't meet any of those requirements, and then she took her fooldom over to England. She took her fooldom to England, and the people are looking at her like, are you serious? I am anorexic. And then, some doctors that is going to find a way to make some money off of this came up with this acronym that I have to go back and look at it because I did this about 20 30 videos ago, somewhere around there. I'm like, she is saying that she's anorexic. If she's anorexic, I'm Queen Elizabeth II. Okay?
Well, if she's anorexic, then I'm the president. That's it.
That level of delusion is right up there with Evan Rachel Wood, Amber Heard, Illma, Gore.
Well, it kind of stems back to the. This might step on some toes a little bit, but hear me out before you come at me. It's like the pronouns.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He, she, them, they. Okay. But when it starts coming that, I'm a cat. You have to call me kitty self. You have to refer to me as kitty self. And this is like really happening. Well, I'm a bee. I'm a bumblebee. You have to refer to me as a bumblebee. I'm my bee self.
Hey.
And frog self and amphibian self, and it goes to that. Just because you say something doesn't make it so.
Mm-hmm.
I could say I'm 7 foot tall, but I'm borderline midget. If you want to put me next to a ruler, a tape measure, but no, I'm a giant. I'm gonna tell everybody I'm a giant. So that must be true. But it's my truth. It's my truth.
Exactly. So when you get to the point to where your truth is so subjective, and look, truth ought to be observable by anyone walking down the street can observe your truth. It's observable.
Yes.
The truth needs no explanation because the truth is the truth. But once you have to start coming up with some wild stuff like I'm anorexic and I am teetering 500-600 pounds. You can't make this stuff up. Oh my goodness.
it would literally be like I'm 5 foot, barely 5 foot, and that would be me like, no, I'm tall, I'm a giant.
You're taller than my sister. My sister's 4.
She's 5 feet now.
Oh, she's 5.
Yeah,
She actually grew.
She grew an inch.
She's too old to grow.
You're too old to be so damn smart.
Okay, Mom. That's my mother. Okay, Mom. I'm live streaming. Jessica said, "Hi, Mom."
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. My sister's your height, but
Okay.
she was actually shorter. I think she put like something in her shoes to make her a little higher.
She did not. And she used to be 4'11", now she's 5
feet. Same thing though. Like I could be like, well, I'm a tree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sequoia tree.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to do anything except stand in my yard, right?
Yeah.
I'm a tree.
Mm-hmm.
You're 500 pounds and you're anorexic. You should probably see a doctor then. There's something very wrong.
But we are at the age to where we can say anything for clicks and likes. Just go anywhere on YouTube and look at the titles that they put on there. It's pure clickbait. Hold on.
Exactly.
Are you going, Mom?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Bye bye. Have a good time.
I'm waiting for Sean.
Okay, please behave out in public, okay?
No, you don't behave inside. What kind of example?
They say hello, Mom.
Okay, hello. What kind of example is that for me?
Oh Lord, okay. I don't want to get her started. but we're at the age to where the most outrageous, the most outlandish. I mean, how can I say? I think when they start doing things to where you could get on video and then become an internet sensation by doing something crazy, like
some of the things that people do just to get internet famous, just to go viral one time.
Yeah, just to get attention.
It's literally insanity.
You have
and the stuff that people buy into, though, and the people that watch this stuff. For example, Britney Spears. She stands in front of a mirror and spins, and half the time she's spinning right next to piles of dog poop.
Oh.
And she's just spinning, and she's pulling the front of her shorts down, where like it's like almost labia. Like, don't do that. And everybody's like, yes, queen, you're so amazing, you're so beautiful, you're so talented, you can dance so good, and she cannot. You know, like it's not like this is obviously something wrong with her, but all these people are, you're so awesome and you're so great.
You know, I think, and this is simply my thought, when you get to a level to where you can't go out without your fans or people knowing who you are mob you become insulated into this little small world to where what you may do in your compound and act silly there is okay because no one else sees you.
Exactly.
But when you take that and put a camera in front of you and then start doing that same thing, two things will happen. Either somebody will agree with what you're doing or disagree.
Exactly.
And then those two thoughts will go back and forth about it's wild.
I just grabbed Britney Spears because it's just like the main topic. But I see so many people, like I don't understand when mental instability started being celebrated instead of helped. Like nowadays, it's being put on a pedestal. Like, oh look, they're expressing themselves. There's this one girl on TikTok, and she, one of the people that I follow on YouTube has made a couple videos about her. His name's Cinema Shogun. And she is a TikTok person, and she's got a whole bunch of followers, and she's talking about how she's like the Messiah, and God is telling her to do these things and tell us things, and she's just going crazy. Like she's got her phone in front of her bathroom mirror, and she's like drawing on the mirror with lipstick and like going off on these weird tangents. Obviously mental instability stuff. Like obviously there's something wrong, and people are lifting her up about it. They're like, you're right. Listen to her. Do it. you know, and like Manson, not Marilyn Manson, but like the whole Helter Skelter thing. That's how all of that started, and it's everywhere now. It's literally everywhere, and these people, their followers, their whole following platform is like a cult.
Oh, you know, you are so right. You are so right. You are just batting 1,000. You're batting 1,000.
Back when I was a teenager, you know, mental issues weren't okay. You know, you had depression and you had bipolar and you were having a meltdown. You know, it wasn't normal, and it was very hushed and swept under the rug. You know, and it wasn't definitely not celebrated. And I feel like nowadays it's like the cool thing is to have something wrong with you, and that one. It makes a lot of the people that do have these issues want to recluse even more, because a lot of people that have these issues, I myself, you know, I've dealt with, you know, like manic depression and manic anxiety and PTSD. And I try to hide it as much as I can. You know, I try not to let it be shown around people. I don't want to get on people's nerves. You know, different things. I don't want to seem weird. I don't want to feel out of place. I don't want to say the wrong thing. You know, different things like that. Where these people are out just like, oh, look at me. I have this is what's wrong with me. You know, and everybody's like, oh, right, you're so strong for being you and embracing who you are. And it's, if you get cancer, you want to fix it. Right. You know, it's mental instability. It's a medical condition, and it's kind of worse than a physical one, especially untreated. And nowadays, it's like, celebrated. It's like cool to have something wrong with you, and it makes, in regards to that, like with the Amber Heard and all that, them saying like people don't want to, the real victims don't want to stand up. That's not been an issue with that, but with the people standing up and saying all this other stuff, like different personalities and explosive disorder, all that, it's not cool. And it's not fun to have. You know, I have anxiety to the point that sometimes I can't even leave my house without like crying and freaking out and shaking and sweating. Wow. It's not fun. It's not cool. And it's being made to where it is with TikTok and Instagram, and that one blows me away. It really does. Like Ezra Miller, you know, everybody's just like, oh, he's just being him. And it's just crazy to me. Wow. It's like Amber, though. Amber, she was said that she had personality borderline disorder. These things are scary. You know, these people explode and have these things wrong with them, and it does. Like, if it goes untreated, you know, you get paranoid or you get mean, and you know, you hit somebody and there's nothing, you know, nothing happens. Then what's going to stop you from hitting them again or doing even more? It is so bad. All the issues are so bad to where you're putting them out in public and people are behaving in that manner, and people who don't even have those issues behave like they have those issues because it's a fad. It gets some attention, and nowadays it doesn't matter what kind of attention you get. If you get attention, then that's great. And yeah, that's just, it's like Amber Heard. I have no doubt in my mind that if she continues, she's going to end up really, really hurting. Well, she already did. Like, she already killed her best friend in the car accident. You know, and like a normal person gets a DUI and like kills somebody, you know, with all stuff happens. Yeah. You know, even, at least probation and court and stuff, and she was just able to just go to Hollywood and live her life, and then she's just continued to abuse everybody that she's been around. Yeah, because she wasn't stopped. She wasn't stopped at all. She wasn't given consequences. And then people that have issues like bipolar or whatever the issue is that they have to have some type of structure in order for them to function in the way society says. To say, okay, I need to have this structure, 8 o'clock, I do this, 9 o'clock, and it's very structured, and people can overcome it. They can. But when we have a society the way we have it now, to where it's like, oh, Ashley Smithline says this. Oh, Amber Heard says this. She does this.
Evan Rachel Wood does this, and then it makes it okay. It makes it fashionable. It makes it fun. It makes it, oh, I can act like this
Like
out
I
in the
said,
classroom.
if it's real, it's not fun. It's not. It's
Yeah.
not pretty. It's not elegant. There's nothing. There's not art. There's nothing pretty about it. And the whole, well, she's been through stuff, so she's gonna put other people through stuff, and that's not true. And you can go one of two ways. And like for example, being a child that's been abused, you can grow up and you can be super against abuse, or you can just return the cycle and you can abuse back.
That's it. That's it right there.
But that doesn't make it okay. Well, this happened to me, so this is, I'm doing this, and that doesn't make it okay. And those people that are broken in that way, they need to be fixed, because wanting to hurt somebody because you've been hurt is not healthy, and it's not normal.
That is so true. And
it doesn't make it excusable.
And that right there is where personal responsibility comes in, to where you have issues. What are you doing about it to manage it?
Exactly. Well, it's like you grew up in a broken home, and you had an abusive alcoholic father and a neglectful mother. That's great, but you can't just use that your whole life for every time you fail. You've got to grow up and take responsibility. Like Ashley saying, "Oh, Evan made me do it." No, take responsibility. You
said yes.
Exactly.
You said yes. You didn't have to say yes. You would have whined, screamed. It's like my niece is so much like Amber Heard. Oh my goodness. She'll call me up and she'll say aunt. Whenever she says aunt, I'm like, I'm waiting for it.
Here it comes.
Because she always called me by my first name, because we're like 10 years apart. My sisters, I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest. And I think I act more. No, my sister older than she's a year older than me, Stacy, about a year and a half. But she'll call me up and she'll say, I have a question. I said, okay. And she'll ask me, which is a yes or no question. And then when I say no, why do you say no? Because you gave me two choices, right? And now you want to argue with me about the choice? I said no.
I hate when people do that, when they ask you your opinion and you give it to them and then they're not happy about it.
Oh man, and then I take her through it. I'm like, okay. The next time you ask me something, you say, no, you are going to have to do this because I say so. She said, well, yeah. No one is going to listen to me. I said, exactly. So you're asking me a question to where I could say yes or no, and you never said, give me an answer with explanation. You never said that. You just said yes or no, and that should have been cool, but you want it. Okay, Amber. she gets so mad. I told her to look at the video that I made about her. She's like, I'm not looking at it because I know. No, I'm not looking at it.
Like everybody wants your opinion until your opinion goes against theirs.
Yeah.
It seems like the majority of people are like that nowadays, and you can't have a conversation with somebody if you have opposite views of them, because they're gonna get offended and they're gonna get personal and it's gonna get ugly. You can't just sit and have a normal discussion anymore.
Yeah. It's like now, if you go against the grain, then someone is personally offended. And I'm like, I had a conversation with this lady, and we were talking about something, and then I disagreed, and she's like, she got personally offended. I'm like, why are you personally offended about a person in this situation that you don't even know? That makes no sense. Why are you even being? What do you gain out of? No, matter of fact.
What place do you have to take any offense to my feelings?
And then I said to her, I said, okay, what response do you want from me? Because apparently you're looking for something, because you keep on going on about this. So how do you want me to respond to you? And then she stopped and she just was like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, well, why do you continuously go on and you don't even know what response you want? That makes no sense.
And that's another thing. If you go into a conversation and you have expectations of what you get in return, then you're going into the wrong things, because that's a one-sided conversation. And people, like I said, they're just wanting to hear. If you're not with them, then you're automatically against them.
Yeah.
Long story short, and then they want to attack you, and then they get personal too. Like if you don't, and if you have facts and things, and you stand by what you're talking about and what you believe in and your views on it, they'll start attacking you, like your parenthood or your job or you as a person, or you're ugly, just type of stuff.
Yeah.
You can't have an opposite opinion of somebody anymore without somebody going after you.
Okay, listen to this. Fantastic. Ether says people struggle with their own identities nowadays and wanting to be relevant, so they cling often to something that will make them feel relevant and seen as a part of some community. What do you think about that?
Yeah. And see, the thing is, though, like with the victim community and the mental instability community, it's so easy to say that you're part of that community.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have anxiety and I've been abused.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what happened, it happened. And they just say that. And so it's easy for them to just think that they can join in on it.
Yeah, and
be a part of it.
Even though it may seem, hold on for a second, Jessica, even though that it may seem that we have strayed off the conversation, we haven't. We're still talking about Ashley Smithline, the things that she did, the allegations, as she said, Evan Rachel Wood and Illma Gore, in their case with Marilyn Manson, what brought it to this point. And we're just simply using other people and other examples to only go further strengthening the situation there. Okay, I just wanted to say that because I don't want people to think that we're going straight off the rails here.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like these girls are showing obvious signs of these mental issues,
Mm-hmm.
and they're claiming these things because they've seen it other places. Like, oh well, this happened to that girl, and everybody's sitting there supporting her and being so great to her. So I'm going to do that. And the mental issues plays into that because normal people don't do that.
Yeah, and also Jib and Jab says Evan has a lot of labels: LGBT, LGBT, SADB, and I'm going to say XYZ. Most definitely. And Fantastic Ether says constant social power struggles. Yes. Let me see. Wow, most definitely. Evan charges 100,000, 200,000 to speak at a virtual. Wow. Oh my goodness. That is outrageous. Let me see. E. McBride said, so when she gets found a fraud, what will be the reduced price? That's a good one. I don't know. It needs to be something. She is scamming right now, as far as I'm concerned. Imagine to pay for to see a fake victim. Most definitely. Yes, 25 stands. 25 to stand outside. What? 25? That is outrageous. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, okay. and it just this is so huge. It is this whole situation that Evan Rachel Wood started and sucked people in to this whole situation with Marilyn Manson and bringing these other people in. This is so massive. I mean, I really think that she did not believe that it would get this crazy and out of control and bringing all these other people in there spinning their own plates.
I really think Evan thought, everybody was just going to believe her, and just complete, especially with who Manson is and his persona. And aside from Evan, I feel like everything today is basically a relevance war. Like Amber with Johnny and all of it. And they don't care who else's lives they have to ruin. And the relevancy they take away from others as long as they get it. I think Evan Rachel Woods is more of an emotional, she's got a, obsession with Manson type of thing. I don't think hers was irrelevant because she had her own career and her own stuff. I think hers is completely just emotional, but all the others, I feel like it's just a constant relevance war.
And it's interesting that you say that, because Fantastic Ether says, my brother saw that I supported Manson, Marilyn Manson, and he literally ripped me a new one, twice, citing that the media citing all the media lies, and told me that I would end up in a cult.
And see, that's the problem, though, is everybody's watching the media and listening to the media. Go on YouTube, take 4 hours, and listen to his interviews and other people's interviews about him. And it's literally nothing that even I thought he was. Because I've been a part of that, like the horrorcore culture and stuff like that, basically my whole life. But with Manson, like I said, when all this first started, and it coming from Evan, I was like, well, it's probably true, and I'm guilty of that. I immediately, I judged a book by a cover, and even though like I look different than like most, I have a lot of those different looks and stuff, but I went in thinking, okay, but I didn't know a lot about him, and I sat and I took a few days and I just went through all the interviews I could find of him, writings about him, other people's interviews about him, and it's completely opposite. Literally, it's everything like Johnny Depp was. He's very soft-spoken, he's very quiet, he's nothing like his stage, all of it is complete opposite. He's very educated. He speaks very, very well. It didn't take me long to kind of realize that everything was kind of BS that was being said about him.
Very true. Jib and Jabs basically reiterates what you said, that Evan does not represent victims. She doesn't. She represents Evan. She's out to make a profit for herself. So true. And I believe by her even doing this, taking this route, she's not only going to destroy anything that she's trying to build, because now she's building now. She's getting money here and there. But when this lawsuit comes down, matter of fact, I'm going to go off track a little bit to only make this point right here. What Evan Rachel Wood is doing all this stuff to make money. Now, a YouTuber, Tasha K, was talking smack about Cardi B, calling her Herpy B, all this stuff. She sued the YouTuber for the tune of $4 million. Now, Tasha K, what she wound up doing was she started selling her assets, and she pulled an Amber Heard. She moved to Morocco. Just like, I mean, so now, and so, Cardi B tried her best. She was like, okay, let's stop this. We're both mothers. Please stop this. Take down the video. It's not true. And they went. She slobber knockered Tasha K. And all this happened right around the same time, with all this skirmishes going on between Evan Rachel Wood and Amber Heard. It's a mess. It is a mess. But she got sued for $4 million. Now Johnny Depp got $10 million. Amber skipped. She's over there in Israel, and Tasha K is not far from Amber Heard. You can't make this stuff up. And she's delusional too.
Well, Rose McGowan kind of did the same thing too. Like, she tried to pull everything, and it was a no-go. So she moved to Mexico.
I know, she most definitely did move to Mexico, and I think that Rose McGowan, and I'm really with her. And but some people think, and I get what they think. I understand it. I understand that it was a Me Too. That's why she did it. And I don't give her any slack, none at all, because that was her man. and she knows what he's like. They
And they were
separated.
racing together for a while. Like, she just adored him.
And
And for her to stand up and say what she did, well, I didn't have that. That wasn't what it was like when he was with me. But I'm so sorry he did that to you. Where Johnny Depp had, what's her name? Winona Ryder was like, nah. And Kate Moss was like, nah. His ex-wife, Vanessa, was like, nah. You know, they weren't like, well, I'm sorry if it happened. No, they were like, there's no way. Like, this has never been happening to me. This is how it was. And she didn't do that.
And I'm so upset with, with her. And then when she went after Harvey Weinstein, Marilyn Manson was like, oh, okay, you're hanging me out to dry here. I don't know why you would sue in a civil court. Why didn't you go to the police?
Yeah.
Let me see what else. Oh my goodness, we were on for 3 hours. It didn't seem like 3 hours. Oh my goodness. Let me see. E. McBride said she isn't scared of Manson. She got an Evan in a zone in LA on September 27th. Oh, wait a minute. She got. Oh man.
Zane. I think it's Zane. It might be a music person.
Is that an O or an A? Oh, that's an A. I'm sorry.
Zane show.
Is it? Okay, I don't even know who Zane is. Okay.
He said, I think that's the same day as her court, running to Tennessee because she's scared for her child, etc. She seems to spend a lot of time in LA doing events. Wonder if Manson's attorneys are taking notes on that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he said it's her band. E McBride. I apologize. They said it's her brand.
Oh,
her band.
Okay. Okay. Laws were changed based on Evan Rachel Wood's law. Yep, California. Woo. I mean,
honestly though, it works for Ray J. Like Ray J said, like because of everything, like the statute of limitations has been increased, so like it helps. So it can help like actual victims, but she was not. And the way it started, it was done on corruption, and it feels dirty to me. That whole Phoenix Act, it feels wrong to me.
Oh, well, they already had abolished that, but Ray J was able to get a year. So he is going to be suing a lot of people. Oh my goodness. Get him, Ray J. Get him.
I hope he does too, because he's been put through the ringer about what a horrible piece of crap guy he was, how he did that to her, and he sat quietly the whole time. And he's not like said anything, and then now he's got his own thing that he's doing, and people are trying to say that Kim made her own way, and like he had nothing to do with her being famous, and that's obviously a lie because it was the video, and he sat and had people just tearing him a new one about what a horrible, disgusting person he was, and they kept poking at him, the Kardashians did. And then the recent thing happened, and he was finally like, I'm done. Yep. I am done. And he has been put through the ringer, and I'm so glad that he is finally, like, again, I'm not a fan of any of them. I don't listen to the music or anything, but I feel like as a person, I don't think somebody should be judged on somebody's lies. I think it's so wrong. I don't care if you're my kind of person or not. If you're not a bad person, you don't do those things, I will stand next to you. You could be my biggest enemy, and somebody could be lying about you in that kind of way. And if I know it's the truth, I will stand up and stand next to that person, and I will say the truth.
And let me see her band. E. McBride. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. But
I know somebody with the last name McBride, and it's a he, so I just automatically went to he, so I apologize.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Let me see. Fantastic Ether said some of Manson's exes said he was actually vanilla. Oh, okay, I'm gonna leave that one alone. Let me see. Evan wanted to charge or change the statute limitation to 20 years. That was just crazy.
20 years.
Yeah, just think. You you had a terrible relationship, was very contentious with somebody, you break up, and like 20 years later, like within that 18 years, you're like, okay, I still don't like that person, but I need a little bit of money. Let me go ahead and do this and that. And people will do strange things to pay bills or whatever. They'll go ahead and say or do whatever they need to do to get whatever they need done. And it's wild. And I'm glad they took that Phoenix law out.
Same. Yeah, I didn't know that they did. I'm glad that they did. Like if I had anything I could say to them, what I would say to all of these girls is do what a normal person does. Go get an OnlyFans and sell your nudes. Don't try to ruin somebody's entire life. Like it's just.
That's what Charlie Sheen's daughter did. Oh my good. Look. There's an old saying. When a man cats around like that, the worst thing that can happen to him is he would have daughters. Oh my goodness, his daughter is out there on OnlyFans, and he's like, "Oh no!" But look at all the women he been with.
Look at all the things he did. Yeah, men and women. I heard, but I wasn't there, so.
Oh no. Okay, I'm stuck again. All right, I'm gonna close this up. I am stuck again.
No. Alrighty. Well, I better hop off here.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, and until next time, thank you for having me.
Oh, most definitely.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.